And this next guest has a different look at opportunity in America and different sort of the things that are going on. Ed McGinnis is the CEO of Curio, former acting assistant secretary for nuclear energy at the U.S. Department of Energy. A split decision on nuclear waste. Recycling nuclear waste turns a national liability into a strategic gold mine, potentially. He joins me now. Ed, thank you for being here on the program.
Pleasure to be here, Steve.
Good to see you. All right, look, I think we need to let's start with the base idea of nuclear energy. Really started in this country in the 1950s. I'm not too far from where I'm sitting right now, from the second nuclear power plant of significance in America called Big Rock. It's been closed for decades now on the shores of Lake Charlevoix in Petoskey, Michigan, or Charlevoix, Michigan, excuse me. Um, but we don't need giant reactors anymore. You can have modular nuclear, which I think is the wave of the future. It really is. The kind of things that power aircraft carriers can power cities, right? But what about
Indeed.
this nuclear waste? What about the stuff that has kept people, oh, we shouldn't have nuclear. We're going to have 3 Mile Island. We're going to have fish with three eyes and all of this nonsense, right? How do we turn that into a gold mine as suggested here?
Well, first of all, we recycle the material only because of government policies over the years have we seen an incredible, valuable national asset in what is more accurately described as lightly or slightly used nuclear fuel that is sitting around the country stranded next to reactors, just like the one you mentioned.
Whereas the one
And
at Big Rock, it's all buried right here. It's all in a big concrete tomb right here on the shores of Lake Michigan, right? It is.
Yes,
So
indeed. So we have over 90 locations around the country with stranded material. And so
yeah, let
if
me
we
ask you about what you just said.
go ahead.
You just said slightly or lightly used. Why is it slightly or lightly used? Why isn't it completely used?
Because nuclear fuel, when it runs in a reactor in the US, typically runs for about 5 years. When it's pulled out, you've only used about 4% of the energy value. France, Russia,
Huh.
China, they know. So they recycle the material, repurpose it for new fuel, and also extract the other valuable products that are created during that fissioning process. There's enough energy value remaining, Steve, in this so-called waste only because it's designated by government policy as waste to meet U.S. electricity needs for the next 150 years. Those are scientists from national
So
labs saying that, not me.
let me understand this. Just we're going to dumb it down for me and the listeners just a little bit, Ed. The
Indeed.
energy that's sitting in the tomb here at Big Rock for the last several decades, that fuel is still valuable for a modular nuclear reactor or other nuclear reactors to power the future. That's what you're telling me.
Absolutely. We have an agreement actually with 9 different U.S. nuclear utilities precisely to recycle the used nuclear fuel slightly that's sitting around the pads next to reactors and closed reactors like yours, and then recycle it, repurpose it for new fuel, not only in the new advanced small modular reactors, but the current reactors. Another thing that people don't realize, though, Steve, is that there are a lot of highly valuable elements, isotopes, and even precious metals that are generated during that 5 year fissioning process. The most expensive metal in the world is rhodium. And there are large, large quantities of rhodium in our so called nuclear waste, ready to be mined, ready to be recycled. My company is going to do that. Thanks to the president. He has absolutely taken historic steps with 4 different executive orders on nuclear to really usher in a completely new era, a golden era for nuclear in a way we haven't seen in my lifetime.
All right. So, how do you combat the lies about nuclear energy? How do you come? Because I mean, let's be honest. There's a tremendous amount of mythology out there that talks about nuclear waste, and like I said, three-eyed fish, and if you had an earthquake, the whole world. And none of that's true. I think biological elements are far more dangerous than nuclear elements. That's me from the reading I have done. How can you do this safely to assuage the public that it's okay to move the nuclear fuel from Big Rock to wherever your facility might be for reuse, rededication, recycling? How do you make everybody feel okay about it after all the years of propaganda they've been fed?
First of all, talking directly common sense ways, engaging with the states and communities early on, and explaining the value proposition. We're engaging with states around the country now considering where we're going to build one or more of our advanced nuclear recycling facilities. And when they hear the value proposition, they hear that we actually know how to recycle it and reduce the original high level radioactive material to about 3 to 4%, and we know how to dispose of it. That's a different story. Yes, we're always going to have the Homer Simpsons and the three-eyed, monsters that are supposedly created by nuclear waste. But the best way to really get past that is coming up with common sense, mutually beneficial ways to use nuclear energy. So we're doing that now. We have actually we're in a unique moment where we have a higher level of support by the public than I've seen in many, many decades. Over 50% may not sound like a lot in support, but that's a lot. The key, though, is for us to get our act together. And we have squandered opportunities in the past, like treating it as waste, not taking care of this material that is a highly valuable asset. And so, listen, getting out there, I was at CPAC speaking with a lot of the constituents, for example, and they got it.
Right.
When we
That's good.
explained that you don't throw away perfectly valuable material. It's like taking a Cadillac Escalade and then filling it up
Right.
with gas and then throwing it away.
Well,
Dilbert is
the way I
alive
look
and
at it,
well.
Ed,
Yeah,
you're on the cutting edge here. I greatly appreciate you being here. I'm going to have you back because this was like an opening conversation. You and I need to talk more about this process, about how you save the rhodium, how you invest, how your company is going to create more energy in an efficient way and recycle the past, basically. Ed, I got to run right here, but really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for being here.
my pleasure. Thank you, Steve.
There you have it. Ed McGinnis, Curio, look him up. Great company. I'll be right back.